Smells like 1993 all over again. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This, my friends, is the Air Jordan 8 and what is now known as the playoff colorway. Although I don't know what they used to call them back in the day, like the 90s. There wasn't really like nicknames. Like it was home, away, maybe all-star, playoffs, black and reds. So that's where they got their name from, mostly because he wore them in the playoffs while he was on his road to getting his third championship, the last of the first three-peat, which is interesting. So I just got in the shoe for the beginning of his second three-peat, the one that comes out pretty soon. But anyways, these guys right here, originally released back in 1993. They've been retroed a few times. By a few, I actually mean I think it's just a couple. I can't remember all the years. I just remember off the top of my head, the last one, which was the one that we reviewed, was way back in 2013. They were a little bit different than what we see here. The midsole was gray, whereas these ones are more true to the original, being black. The materials on that one were all just straight up nubuck or durabuck, synthetic nubuck, if you will, whereas this one tried its best to mimic or replicate the previous retro, like the original retro and the original shoe itself from the 1993 lineup. On top of that, everybody's tripping out about this guy right here. Like, this is the big deal apparently. Everybody's happy that the red pull tab is finally back for the first time since the 1993 original release. But yeah, either way, the shoe is back, or it's about to be back. This is the pair from the Shock Drop. Surprise, surprise. I know, I don't even know the last time that I could probably just check. Okay, what was the last shoe? What do you think?
Jordan 11.
Oh, actually, this is gonna be a messed up thing. The last shoe was actually a shoe I bought you.
Oh, well, I was gonna say it's the Vomero, but that was
That was just a personal pickup for her.
Yeah.
Or like a gift pickup. But yeah, pair before that I got was the Jordan 2 Cool Grays. Great shoe, by the way. But then the hyped release that I got before that was the 13 Playoffs. The time before that was the Jordan 11. I actually got those on the Shock Drop, the white and reds.
So I was right. I was just off by a couple.
You know how many shoes have dropped though between the playoff 13s until now?
15,000.
It feels like it. And guess how many I was able to get? None, except for these. So again, congratulations to me for finally winning something so I can give the company my money. Anyways, with all that being said, these guys right here are back, and I don't want to say that they're better than ever because, well, I don't actually believe that. However, they are closest to the original that we've seen since the original. I just don't think that they did it quite like the original, like quite as nice. The thing that it's really throwing me off is just the contrast. Do you notice that? Like, can you see it in person? I think it looks worse or more apparent. I shouldn't say worse. It looks more apparent in images.
Between the underlay material and the over?
Right.
I will say that on the camera B right now,
it's all blending?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but who knows once I plug it into the computer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Usually when I see it in the viewfinder, it looks different than what's on the screen.
But yeah, the undertone looks more gray while the overlay looks black.
Not just that, but like it almost felt like leather, but it's not. So yeah, the materials are just a little bit weird. Not gonna say that they're bad or anything because they're actually quite nice, but is it like the original? And that's the thing where it's like, well, no, they're not. I don't know how hard they tried to make it like that because it doesn't feel like they tried that hard at all, but maybe I'm wrong about that. That's just me assuming based off of visuals. As far as the outsole is concerned though, this is one of the prettiest outsoles I think of most of the Jordan brand. Actually, take that back. I think they're all pretty. One of the things that Tinker was best at was all the little details, the minute things, like the stuff that you wouldn't typically see, such as the bottom. And this just looks fantastic despite it not having traditional herringbone or a radial pattern or any pattern at all for that matter. It's just kind of textured with holes in it. It's weird, the Swiss cheese pattern if you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
They are very heavy, very clunky, and damn near boot-like, but if you lace them up all the way, it's actually a fun shoe to play in. And anyways, the traction right here is not too bad either. It's great indoors, great outdoors, doesn't collect dust because there's nowhere for it to sit and get caked up in, so that's always a plus. I absolutely love the shank though. It's not a true shank, it's actually a little firmer than it's been in previous retro releases, but I just like the graphic down here. I just think it looks really cool. Speaking of graphic, I also really like the side panel or the little support panels that we got got here. It's both on the medial and the lateral side. The medial side though is just a little bit thinner. Now as far as the tech is concerned, we do have a polyurethane midsole. Inside of that midsole are 2 encapsulated air sole units. There's one in the heel and one in the forefoot. You can see that right with this little picture right here. Big thank you to my friend, The Real Mark C, for actually posting that on Instagram because it gives a great visual to what is inside of this shoe. Speaking of inside the shoe, underneath the insole is a board glass. That is an original torsional plate or torsional system. So way back in the day before there was little shank bars, carbon fiber plates and things like that, they would put what looks like cardboard inside of the shoe, and so that's just a board glass and it makes the shoe stiffer. It's great for larger players such as professional athletes. Speaking of that insole though, we do have a real polyurethane insole, none of that Dream Cell. So I really love that that's included in these. Once this breaks in, they should be pretty damn comfortable. And something else to note is just the overall look of that midsole. It still has the original glitter effect that was in the original 1993 run. It's not quite as heavy glitter as previous like Aqua release, which some people really disliked for some reason. But either way, it is on here. The previous releases of the retro gave the treatment a more gray look, which is not true to the original. So I like this. It's also very different looking. If you've had the previous retros of this shoe, the first thing that you'll probably notice outside of the material contrast is that black midsole. And again, it looks a little weird at first just because you might be used to the retro version. But if we're talking about an original version, again, this is supposed to mimic that as close as possible. Now, as far as the materials are concerned, we've got a mixed bag right here. We've got the underlay material, the strap material, and then the heel material. The heel material looks and feels like a synthetic nubuck. It looks like there is some sort of leather in there, but that could just be a composite, so it could just be scraps. There's no sticker with this release stating that it uses synthetic materials, which means that there's at least some sort of real raw material in there, aka some sort of animal. If it wasn't, it would come with that sticker usually. Now the underlay material features the cracked kind of look that the original and the first retro featured. This is something that was actually missing in the 2013 release that we reviewed here on the channel, what, 10 years ago, something like that. This is not exactly the way that the real shoe looked. It also feels really weird too. It almost feels like actual leather and not nubuck. Also, it's a dimmer, or how would you call that? Duller black look versus the straps that are just this heavy saturated black nubuck, and that's weird. The shoe normally looked uniform outside of the white cut lines and things like that, or the gray cut lines from the originals, whereas this guy right here is just like a jet black overlay and then a kind of like muted black underlay. And I mean, I don't not like it. It gives it some contrast, so if you were looking for that, you might dig this. If you're an OG head that's an OG purist, look away! Now the Air Jordan 8 features a controversial lockdown system, which is the cross strap along the top. Some people absolutely love this. Some people hated it. Whatever camp you're in, feel free to let us know in the comment section. All I know is that it features one of the coolest looking 23 logos of all time, and that's right there in the white and red. It looks fantastic. I also love the Chanel patch. This one's not as fun as some of the other colors just because it's like straight black and red, but for example, the Aqua edition just has all kinds of colors on there and it just looks really cool. Looks super 90s and I really dig it. Speaking of 90s, that internal graphic is kind of similar to the shank on the bottom, features the same colors and all that stuff, so that's all back in there, which is always good to have. And again, they put back the red pull tab, so yay, whoa, like I don't know why everybody's freaking out about that. Like again, yes, that looks closer to the OG, but all this doesn't. So it's like one of those weird things where it's like, you can't just do it. No. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, you can go true to size and you should be good to go. If you want a super snug one-to-one fit, only really recommended for 1, those that like that, 2, those with a super narrow foot, or 3, those that plan on playing in the shoe, you can go down half a size. Otherwise, true to size, you should be good to go. If you do happen to play in them, 1, we have a performance review. You can find it either on the website or on the channel. The one thing that I will say is, again, if you don't lace them all the way up to the top, the internal lining is so slick and smooth that your socks will kind of like glide against it instead of stay locked in against it. So make sure that you lace them all the way up if you plan on playing in them. Yes, you'll look super cool. Yes, you'll look super old school. And yes, they will be hot and heavy, but it's fine. It was the 90s. But with all that being said, sound off below and let us know what you think about this year's version of the Air Jordan 8 Playoff. Thank you so much for being here. We will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, have a good one.